the game could see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live. Peace.
Boys.com live here with Eddie Hearn. We got our first question coming from Patreon questions. Buwami UFG says, are you going to accept Shelly's challenge and show the emails from the Wilder negotiations?
If he wants.
All right. Second question, if Wilder beats Fury, how much would that affect fight negotiations? Who's A side, who's B side?
We remain the A side, but Wilder certainly increases his stake and value in the fight.
And last, how do you feel about how these negotiations have affected AJ's image here amongst US fight fans? That's what I'm saying.
I think he's probably raised his profile a little bit in the US. I think everybody wants to see the Wilder fight, and I think they're disappointed it hasn't materialised. It's our job as his promoters and people who try and make big fights to try and get that fight over the line in April.
All right, coming from Stainless in Detroit, is his plan to win purse bids for big fights in US for DAZN? Is that the plan?
Well, I would say yes, but I lost one with a hooker one, so I lost by 70,000. I think a way for us to get big fights is certainly, that is one option. It doesn't necessarily give us futures in those fighters, so I don't think it's an effective plan, but certainly as a short-term plan, if I was a fighter and I didn't have an exclusive deal with a broadcaster, I would certainly be saying to my promoter and advisor, let's go to purse bids if that opportunity arose. Maurice Hooker's a great example, making 1.2 million to fight Saucedo.
Who's AJ's next big fight after Povetkin, if not Wilder or Fury?
Dillian Whyte.
When will we see Kell Brook and Amir Khan fighting?
Hopefully December. But Amir Khan fights Vargas on September the 8th in Birmingham.
Coming from Kandani, definitely in the UK, says, would you rather Wilder fight White before AJ, and why?
I want Dillian to get his shot at the world title. I don't care who he's against. I feel like with what he's done, with who he's beaten, and he's held that #1 position with the WBC for so long, that he should have got his shot against Wilder. But I don't. You know, my job for Dillian Whyte is to deliver him a world title shot. I would prefer that was against Wilder than Joshua, but now Dillian Whyte against Joshua is a very big fight.
Great question coming in from Andre Diacono. He says, how do you plan on marketing DAZN in America this fall with NFL and college football taking over sports content?
Well, probably to integrate that. I mean, that's the job of the marketeers of DAZN, who are extremely, extremely bright, clever and sharp. You would have seen them yesterday sign Cristiano Ronaldo as a global ambassador to DAZN. Wasn't cheap. Probably one of the biggest stars in world sport, 75 million Twitter followers. It's a good start. They've got all kinds of plans like this. The presentation team they're going to be using for the boxing is absolutely spot on, will be announced soon as well. They're very, very sharp people who have a huge marketing budget to push the brand out there, and I think at the moment they're making a lot of noise.
Next one comes from Rick. He says, do you need a college degree to become a promoter of your caliber? What advice do you have for people trying to enter the field?
Just have a dad who used to be a promoter. That's the easiest way to do it. Now, I think I actually put a tweet out the other day. We have a thing called A-levels in the UK. It's like exams for 18-year-olds, and people were sort of panicking, oh, I didn't get my grades. I don't think once have I looked at someone's A-level results in their CV when I've employed them. Generally, I think being a people person and just being a good salesman is very, very important. Doesn't matter what you do. But sometimes you just meet someone, you like them. Like, we've employed 8 guys in the US office. Those guys, when I met them, within a minute, I knew whether I was going to give them a job or not, you know? So my advice, if you're going to get into promotion, is to make sure that you run a financially tight ship. Plan, budget, run a tight profit and loss sheet so you know exactly where you are at all levels, know what you need to do to find your break-even point in that event. Don't exert yourself, and never, ever, ever, ever let ego be responsible for your business decisions.
Andre Diacono again says, are you now prepared to offer Wilder a flat fee or open the books for percentage fee if the fight happens in 2019?
At the moment, the offer is still on the table of $15 million flat fee. If he fights Fury, if that fight actually happens and they do big pay-per-view numbers and he looks good, he gets a big win, we will revisit that offer. At the moment, the fight is there to be signed on the offer that he accepted.
Greg Morgan, hey Eddie, congrats on signing one of my favorite fighters, Demetrius Andrade. If he gets past Billy Joe, do you see him getting matched against the other top fighters in the division like Charlo, Canelo, or Triple G next?
For sure, that's why he's gambling on this fight. You know, when he came to us, the idea was to have 1 or 2 fights and then challenge for a title. He got mandated for Billy Joe Saunders. He said, I can't turn it down, because he's gambling that if he wins the fight, he's going to have all those guys you just mentioned.
The next one from Medill, has he spoken to Keith Thurman or his team about joining the Zone? And if he has, would he reach out? If he has not,
Not particularly.
Oh, he wouldn't reach out?
No, I haven't particularly spoken to him.
With Hooker getting, well, not particularly. What's that mean? Who you speak to?
No, we haven't had negotiations. That's what I'm saying.
From Robert, your little mini me in America, and well in the UK, Robert Hearn says, with Hooker getting 1.2 million out of the purse bid, is it proving to be true that this is a great time to be a fighter? But how disappointing was it to get it not on the Zone?
I was disappointed. I wanted to win that purse bid. That's why I made an offer like that. Top rank matched, beat me by $70,000. Incredible deal for Maurice Hooker. So I'm pleased for him in that respect. Would have liked the fight, but I believe he can defend his title against Saucedo, win, you know, in a good profile fight, and then come back to the Zone and defend on there. So yeah, it was disappointing, but listen, this is something that's going to go on for years and years and years. We're not going to be defined by one purse bid.
Does that purse bid now give you a barometer to see how aggressive ESPN are looking to bid?
Everybody's trying to keep up with us. They're going to have very, very deep pockets.
Will the U.S. be getting the likes of Riston, Kelly, Fowler, Ben fighting on cards on the U.S.? And I think they can't excite in American boxing. I think they can excite in American boxing.
The answer is definitely. That's definitely a plan to put a lot of UK fighters on the card. I mean, 2 UK fighters are already challenging for world titles on October 6th. Callum Johnson's fighting Beterbiev and Gavin McDonald's fighting Danny Roman. So you'll see even more British and Irish fighters on the October 20th Boston card announced tomorrow.
A lot of the rumored fighters you were looking to sign have now had their fights and are available. Have you had any talks? Have they resumed? And anything looking promising for DAZN with U.S. marquee names?
Yep, 2 or 3 have had their fights and talks have resumed. We definitely need 1 or 2 marquee names, and they are inevitable.
What's up with Mikey Garcia, bro? He hasn't heard this. Has he called you when he heard the 8 million? I spoke to Robert. I sent him the video. He's like, oh, thank you, man.
We had a very good conversation on Sunday. He's a very, very smart guy, and he's been made a huge offer that he knows is huge, and we'll see where it goes.
What kind of money would be in Joshua Fury if Fury beats Wilder?
Massive, massive. It's just not as big a global fight at the moment as Wilder Joshua. It's always been a bigger UK fight than Wilder Joshua, but yeah, it would be significant.
I think you kind of answered this redundant, but let's try it anyway. Will the fact that Wilder having a pay-per-view versus Fury mean you revise the offer for Wilder fight? All the UK fans have defended you and Joshua throughout the saga, but we will still want to see the fight.
We all want to see the fight. And we've answered the question earlier. If the fight happens between Wilder and Fury and he wins, his stock certainly increases.
Amir Khan recently spoke of a stadium fight in the UK with Manny. Is that next best option for him? And is it really realistic, or is he just talking?
I have a meeting with Manny's advisors in Boston tomorrow morning.
Eric Cruz in Texas says, is there a number of pay-per-views Wilder can sell versus Fury that will change your mind that AJ Wilder is a 50-50 fight?
Got to do 1 million buys to make it a 50-50 fight.
Good question, Eric. Eric again. Yo, Eddie, can you donate some tickets for the Chicago card to TBV?
Well, so we'll work something out.
All right. Last one is from Real Naja Chick in the UK. What does the future hold for women's boxing?
I think it's really bright. I mean, you've got a world championship fight on the card here, Hardy against Vincent, which, by the way, outperformed Errol Spence in the ratings when they were on his undercard. You've got Katie Taylor fighting in Boston. I think she's excellent. I'm a big fan of Clarissa Shields as well. She's in a big undisputed fight against Hammer. I think it's really exciting. I don't really look at it as male, female. I just look at it as entertainment. If you can fight, I don't care if you're male or female. There's just fewer females, in my opinion, that can entertain like male fighters can. But when you get the female fighters that do, totally irrelevant what sex they are.
So we've been hearing things about Cindy Serrano, but then eventually Amanda.
We want to fight both. So we're fighting Cindy next, then we want to fight Amanda. Good fight. I mean, they're both very good. Amanda's the better of the two. She can fight, you know, she's tough, she can punch hard. But Katie wants to fight everyone. The ultimate goal is to win all the belts.
Well, Eddie, man, thank you for the time. You've been great. See you tomorrow in Boston. All right.
What's up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/theboxingvoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.